the poster boy of startups, Vijay Shekhar Sharma and Paytm are now entering the insurance business. We have seen Paytm being in the financial services business and insurance in particular as an intermediary. But now it's going to be a provider of insurance. It's doing so with an acquisition. Paytm has not disclosed it, Vijay Shekhar Sharma has not disclosed it, but according to regulatory filings, it could be an acquisition of more than 550 crore rupees. To talk more about this and to talk about the future of Paytm as a financial services company is the president of Paytm, Amit Nayyar, now joining us right here on Startup Central. Amit, thank you so much. Congratulations to you, to VSS, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the entire team on this acquisition. You know, while everybody was talking about your shareholders and whether you're an Indian company or not, you've struck them back. You've come back with an acquisition, entering a new business. It's going to be insurance. You're waiting for the insurance regulators' approval. But tell me more about this acquisition and your plans.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Nayantara, for inviting me to the show. And on behalf of Vijay as well as Paytm organization, I really thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about it. From an acquisition standpoint, yes, it really helps us accelerate our journey into the insurance sector. And we believe by making an acquisition of a quality platform like Raheja QBE General Insurance, we can actually accelerate our journey by anywhere between 24 to 30 months. They have a strong management team. It's a very solid business, very regulatorily compliant business. So we are very, very excited to kind of get into the space. We've been working with the regulator to think through getting into the space. And this acquisition was kind of just the perfect platform that we wanted that allows us to kind of get into the general insurance market, which especially post-COVID, when we look at insurance, which is inherently very underpenetrated in India, we believe would have a large degree of awareness and population of India wanting to buy insurance products. So to that extent, and if I combine that with the broader Paytm reach of customers and businesses, it would be a win-win solution and something that we can take to the broader masses and drive more financial penetration and inclusion.
So, you've done this with an acquisition. Do you want to tell me the deal size according to regulatory filings? It's going to be a 100% acquisition. It could be, almost 560 crore rupees worth.
So in terms of the details of the acquisition, we are acquiring this, we're doing a 100% acquisition where we are buying 51% stake from Prism Johnson, which is a Rajan Raheja Group company, and 49% stake from QBE, which is one of the leading Australian insurers. So we'll be buying 100% of this company through a technology company called Cockle, which is owned 51% by Vijay in his personal capacity and 49% by 197 Communications.
You are, of course, pending approvals from the regulator, the IRDAI. But, I want to talk about the bigger story over here. You had interest as an intermediary for providing insurance. Now you want to be in the business of insurance. It's a capital-intensive business. You're starting off with general insurance. What's the larger play? What's the larger bet here?
Nayantara, as we've spoken to you in the past, as well as to the broader media, and when we talk to investors, our aspiration is that Paytm has been a fantastic and has had a great journey as a consumer as well as a business acquisition platform through the payments business. On top of that, we've driven huge degree of consumer engagement, business engagement by building what we call consumer internet services and merchant services like travel bookings, event bookings, and movies bookings. The next phase of our growth, and which Vijay has also detailed in some of his interactions before, is the next phase of our growth would be building a broader technology-led full financial services platform. And when I say financial services platform, that has three big buckets to it. There is a lending bucket, there is an insurance bucket, and there's the asset management bucket. We have been, as you correctly pointed out, in the insurance play, more specifically talking about this transaction, we have been an insurance intermediary. We were granted an insurance broking license earlier this year, and we've launched an insurance broking platform, which is both a B2C direct platform online as well as a B2B to C platform, where we are also working with some of our partners in the offline space who will be distributing insurance for all the other insurers in the market. We think that distribution as an intermediary is a fundamental construct and as well as a very important part of our broader play. Having said that, we also see, given the various amount of customer engagements that we have, as well as merchant engagements, and access to their digital footprint data, knowing a lot more intimately about their requirements, we believe by having our own insurance company, we'll be able to tailor them with more customized products and solutions at a much affordable and cheaper cost. So from a distribution standpoint, we would be one of the insurance providers on a distribution platform. So to that extent, we'll sit alongside and on the distribution platform with some of the other insurance companies also and distribute our products. At the same time, we'll also create other channels of distribution in the market. But the key point here is, given our broader ecosystem that we develop, we think there is opportunity, there is a need in the market to cater with what I say bite-sized, more customized solutions with for the broader customers as well as the businesses, which we can do through this company, which would be, I would say, a technology-led kind of a customized product play to that extent. Does that answer your question, Antara?
Of course, under-penetrated market. This is, of course, an under-penetrated market. Everybody talks about the kind of potential that exists in the insurance business. You're beginning your journey, and Paytm and Vijay Shekhar Sharma are beginning their journey in the insurance world with general insurance. Would it be an educated guess that health insurance and life insurance will follow?
That's a very interesting question. Actually, the general insurance license also allows us to do health insurance. So we would be focusing on health insurance as part of the same platform, which is the platform that we are acquiring, the Reheja QBE General Insurance. So our immediate focus would be driving health insurance penetration and broader general insurance penetration, which is the likes of auto insurance, liability insurance for businesses, and some of those products. So that would be the immediate focus. And the point that you raised, we strongly believe that insurance sector is a highly underpenetrated sector in India. The general insurance penetration is less than 1%, whereas if you look at some of the world market averages, they've hover anywhere in the high single digits to kind of even early double digits as percentage of GDP. And with the COVID environment coming through, I would say insurance, which till now, over the last many years, has been a very, what we call, push product. And in some cases, like auto, etc., has been more regulatorily mandated product. But now with COVID coming through, especially products like health insurance, to some extent even life insurance, these would be full products where a lot of people would want to adequately insure themselves because they don't understand the uncertainties of some of the healthcare benefits that they may require going forward. So, and at the same time, given the wide expanse of the distribution network that we have, which is anywhere between roughly the region of about 50 crore customers on a platform, we also have the ability to take these products to what I say beyond the top 30 towns or the B30 towns, as well as some of the smaller towns and cities, to drive financial inclusion. Technology allows us to reach some of these hinterlands at a much economical cost than the traditional models of distribution. And we think we are uniquely placed to do that, having created that network in the broader Paytm, payments business. To your specific question, as of now, we don't have any immediate plans to get into life insurance. To also the point that you made, which is while we are heavily capitalized as Paytm, life insurance is a long gestation and high capital intensive business. We think we continue to look at opportunities, some of the opportunities that keep coming our way, but we don't have any immediate plans to get into life insurance. Our current focus would be to build out both our insurance distribution platform, where we got our license earlier this year, and then alongside, once we have all the approvals from the regulatory authorities, IIDA, and any other authority, to build this business out on the general insurance, including the health insurance space.
Okay, so not live to begin with. You'll start with general, which also allows you to provide health insurance. Amit, is it going to be branded as Paytm? Do the regulations allow you to do that? Obviously, the synergies are obvious. You've got a captive audience already on the Paytm platform. You have a Paytm's payment bank. But is the insurance product also going to be called Paytm?
Yes, we haven't. We obviously would wait for all the approvals to come in before we start rebranding the brand. But yes, Paytm is I would say, I think Vijay has done such a fantastic job of taking Paytm to the broader population of this country and to the various towns and cities. So I would say it would be wrong for us to not leverage on that brand and the trust that we've created with the Indian population. At the same time, we are very conscious as well as respectful of the fact that Raheja QB is a very strong brand. So we'll work through a transition plan from a brand perspective. But yes, I think maybe if I may want to say one thing, then yes, over a period of time, and I don't want to define that time period, but it would be a Paytm General Insurance branded business over a period of time, subject to regulatory approvals and other things.
Paytm General Insurance awaiting government approvals. You know, I've got to ask you this question, Amit. You know, COVID-19, everybody was talking about increasing their cash runways, conserving cash. But here's Paytm making a very bold move, led by the founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma. You're making an acquisition. You're entering uncharted territory, which is insurance, which is also considered to be a capital-intensive industry. What are you guys thinking?
I would say, Nayantara, it's a very interesting question, and we've been asked that question when we've had some deliberations internally, including with our board, etc., thinking through some of these especially over the last 4 to 5 months since the whole COVID has hit the broader market. I think Paytm as a platform has a very interesting aggregation of various businesses. So while there is pain and uncertainty in certain segments, and that's driven by, which I think is driven by lockdown, which was necessitated and was required to some extent. But we also have a lot of resilience in our business. So if you look at our fundamental business, which is on digital payments, we believe there would be strong. There are actually a bit of a structural change in a positive way with COVID, because just a function of as the lockdown eases out across the country, and we have to be respectful to the fact that the government will release lockdowns as it's deemed required. This is the health, so that there is no health-related risk. So we're kind of mindful of that. So it may take a few weeks and months, and we'll wait for it. But structurally, we think that this would lead to digital adoption, digital payments adoption a lot more. And when I say digital payments, it's also extending that digital analogy also extends to other segments. And when I say other segments of financial services. So we believe digital insurance distribution, digital insurance manufacturing, digital lending, digital wealth management, digital asset management. A lot of these segments will get a very strong boost with this whole changing environment because of the COVID. And that would structurally should help us in the medium to long run. Having said that, we also have certain businesses where we kind of taking a step back, re-looking at our existing resources, both from a financial standpoint as well as from a human capital standpoint, and in some cases reallocating that sort of resources. At the same time, we think that there are certain opportunities in the market that it's a function of timing and also getting the right opportunity to accelerate your journey. And we think that with Raheja QBE, we had that opportunity. We think insurance as a broader market opportunity is very, very exciting, and it's a long-term growth story that would play out. And if I overlay the Paytm distribution brand, customer network, ability to do business with a technology economical way, it suggests a kind of a win-win proposition. Yes, it will cost us some money, but given the strength of our balance sheet, and in this case, Vijay is also stepping in his personal capacity because of the requirements from a foreign ownership standpoint in the insurance sector. So to that extent, we think this should be a kind of a good long-term investment and a strategic investment for us in a broader journey.
Okay, so that's a lot of hints that you've given us. Yes, Vijay Shekhar Sharma has been very candid. He wants to, democratize financial services. That has been the larger vision of Paytm as well. For example, he's also in the past talked about equity trading, stock market trading, and all of that on the Paytm platform. When is that going to happen?
Interesting question. I don't want to give you a specific timeline, but I would say it's a matter of weeks. We have a business called Paytm Money, which is licensed by SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, for mutual fund distributions. We are now licensed by PFRDA for the National Pension Scheme, NPS, and we also have a stockbroking license in that in Paytm Money. And we've been working tirelessly over the last few months to launch a new age digital equity broking platform out of Paytm Money. So you'll probably need to wait for a few more weeks before you'll see the launch of that. But I'm quite hopeful that sometime during this quarter itself, we'll see that launch on Paytm Money side. And also, as you mentioned, Tara, and thanks for prompting on that question, which is, yes, as Vijay has kind of outlined his vision very candidly and transparently in various forums and sessions, is we want to bring at least 50% of the population in the mainstream. So that's about 50 crore people in the mainstream from a financial services standpoint. That's one of the big ways we are working towards. And when we say that, that extends towards extending credit through lending programs, or extending protection through insurance distribution or insurance manufacturing, or extending wealth management through Paytm Money platform that we have. And maybe at some point of time in future, we think about creating our own mutual fund business.
Amit, I want to make this my last question. A lot of people, and I'm not copying this from Jerry Maguire, but they want to know, show us the money. Paisa kahan hai? Look at the times that we are in. Is Paytm well capitalized to deal with all, to make all of these dreams into a reality? Or are we going to expect something really big from Paytm on that front? Let's not forget, you also have a partner in Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. Who better than them for insurance, right?
Yes, and you're right. We kind of, at one level, we have really deep committed financial investors and shareholders, including whom you mentioned, Berkshire Hathaway. We look to them for inputs, especially in the non-life general insurance sector, because they are probably one of the best and the most respected companies in the world when they've created some of these insurance businesses. To give you an example, Geico, which is one of the world's most innovative auto insurance company, is owned by Berkshire Hathaway. So we definitely get our inspirations from there, as well as some learnings. We have access to, I would say, their network, so that we can replicate some of those learnings in the Indian market, and try to create something which is truly unique and innovative, rather than being one of the another players in the market. We'll rather want to be slightly unique and innovative in terms of doing business, whether it's from a distribution standpoint or from a product standpoint. To your point in terms of money, yes, you had covered us extensively when we had raised our last round of capital, which was just towards the end of last year, 2019, and early 2020. So we are, I would say, as I say, we are fortunate that we raised capital ahead of this troubled environment because of COVID, and we are sufficiently capitalized with respect to our plans over the next few years. And we are getting into that phase, Nantara, just directionally to give you statement, we are getting into that phase where we are now building platforms over and above what I said, customer acquisition platform followed by customer engagement platform. We are getting into spaces where we think we are now in a monetization phase. And the next 24 to 36 months would be very interesting on that front, where you said, show us the money. Hopefully the money will start flowing back and we'll start generating profits as well as cash flows.
Amit Nayyar, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I'd like to thank you for giving your only interview to ET Now and Team Startup Central. We look forward to many such interviews with you. Here's wishing you, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, and the entire Paytm family all the very best.
Thank you so much, Nayantara, and thank you so much to everyone from ET Now for being a supporter and getting our right messages across. I thank you on behalf of Paytm, Vijay, and all of us from a broader Paytm family perspective.